Hello, Zoro. I want to just thank you, first of all, for joining us today.
Yeah,
here.
my pleasure.
We're speaking to our folks, our KoSA, extended KoSA family worldwide. We have Zoro, who's been at KoSA several times in the past.
Yep.
And I wanted to just ask you, besides having your book out now,
The big gig.
the big gig that's doing really well, and it's information that we all thought about and asked ourselves about, and have teachers who have told us things, but now we have one point of view all in one book, and I'm really happy that you did that. And I know a lot of people are buying it and getting educated. In your opinion, getting prepared, not just buying the book, I think that's a great idea in getting the information, but also getting prepared as a musician and as a human being. What are your thoughts? Besides coming to KoSA and these kinds of programs, what should one be thinking in this day and age?
Well, it depends. I always tell people it depends on what is the vision. Because before you can prepare for anything, you have to have prepared a vision for what you're trying to do. And why a lot of people don't accomplish the things that they want to do is because they've never thought long and hard about a vision, about what they want to achieve. If you spend most of your time thinking and really doing the thinking up front, like what it is you want to do and develop that vision, then it becomes a lot easier to pursue the vision and prepare for it. There's another thing I tell people is like, there are no losers. There's only winners. There are just people. There are no losers. There's only winners who quit too soon. They're just people who quit too soon, and a lot of it is just getting lost in what the vision and what you're going after. So there's a quote in the book from George Bernard Shaw, and he goes, "I've made an international reputation for myself." He said, "Most people don't think except 2 times a year." He said, "I've made an international reputation for myself by learning to think at least twice a week." And I thought it was just awesome. I thought it was an incredible quote, because basically thinking is hard. Thinking is the advanced work before you even start plowing the field. You start looking at the field going, I want to grow a crop, but you got to figure out what you want to do first, and then it becomes a lot easier to then prepare your methodology of how you're going to get there. So I always tell people, do all the thinking and pondering, and write things down and share them with people, and retool them, recraft them, regroup them, and then when you're really a little bit more clear, then you can begin to implement the preparation, because it'll become more obvious based on what your objective is.
Right. And it's interesting because I've always thought like this. I always saw the end first, and I guess it means the same thing.
Yes.
Like what is it you're aiming for, and what's your final goal? And I've always thought that. Now, my final goal is X. I want to be the drummer in that band or that kind of musician. And I was pretty specific, and I thought everybody thought like that. So I would see the whole thing mapped out. It was like seeing the building already done, and then I'd say, okay, now what do I have to do to get that building made? That's what I've always thought.
Well, and that's what vision is.
Yeah.
Vision is seeing something completed in your mind and then working the rest of your life to walk it out until it becomes a reality. But there's another quote in the book. Stevie Wonder said, just because a man lacks the use of his eyes doesn't mean he lacks vision. And Helen Keller said, it is a terrible thing to have sight, but to have no vision. So vision is the ability to dream up something, see it as a done deal, but then it becomes a real dream when it has legs and there's a strategy and there's steps to it. Because if it's not, it's just a delusion. So there's a difference between a delusion and a dream. A delusion is just wishful, fanciful thinking. I see myself being famous and great and whatever. But a real dream has legs to it and has a strategy and has room for disappointment. And so there's a lot to living out a dream. But that's what you had. You had a vision for KoSA. You had a vision for your career as a drummer, and you pursued that vision, but you already saw it as a completed thing, and now you just walk it out in real time.
Yeah.
Until it becomes a reality.
And I guess it's what you're saying, like you explain in your book, it's the path you take, but the steps you need to take. And I always use the analogy of building a house or a building.
Yeah.
Yes, you see the house, you see it all, but now you need the carpenter, you need the right tools, so you need the path. What is first, what is second, what you need to do. You need to be a better speaker, a better player. You need to learn to read, you need to do all of those things that will take you there. So it's a question of organization, right?
Yeah.
Mental organization towards reaching that goal. It's not like I'm going to learn this and that, and eventually it might get me somewhere. It's the opposite. Would you agree with that?
And the first thing is to keep yourself humble and open so that you can learn all of these things. Humility is the key to growing in any area, and always seeking out counsel of wise people who know more than you do. And if you don't stay humble, you'll never achieve any of those things, because it takes that humility to learn from all the different people. You're never going to accomplish your vision alone. That you will have to enlist many other people in that journey. And it's up to you to recognize, I need this and I need that from this person, and I need to learn what they have, and I need to gain what their understanding, and then you bring it all into your own mix, and then it comes out to be uniquely you. But yeah, you have to have humility, and you have to in advance know that to accomplish anything you're going to overcome a lot of things. There's a lot of opposition to you fulfilling your dream. Another quote I love is, the rarest thing a man ever does is the very best he can. The rarest thing a man ever does is the very best he can. There's another one I used in the book that I like. It says, success doesn't demand from people more than they're capable of. It demands more than most people are willing to give.
Exactly.
So we have this untapped potential inside of us. But how many of us will work hard enough to spend that potential? You're born with a limitless potential, but the worst thing is to die knowing you had $1 million in your account, but you spent $5
Right.
of your potential.
No, you're right. And I guess I would sum it up, and I always tell people in this, what is the price you're willing to pay?
Yeah.
At the end of the day. But I had another thought, getting back to what you were just saying about humility. And I had an experience following one of the videos that you made, where you talked about James Gadson, the great groove master. And there were people who I knew the records and I knew about it, but I didn't know who had done it. So it was great for me to learn, some of the history and exactly the people who had done it. And I had, one day I ran into James, and somebody pointed it out to me because I didn't recognize him. And I went up and introduced myself, and he had heard about what I was doing, and he was talking about, how nice that we have these programs and things. And I'm telling him I learned so much from his playing, his particular style of playing, and what he had done in the past that set us all up.
Yeah.
And he couldn't believe that I was telling him this.
Wow.
I talk humility, and I'm going, but wait a minute, you're the guy that set us up. You're the man. And talk about humility. I mean, it's unbelievable.
The true masters, I find, those with a great heart, are always humble, because I don't remember exactly how the quote goes, but I use it in the book somewhere in the chapter called The Art of Interpretation. It's about mastering the languages of music, but it goes along the lines of something like, a true master is somebody who realizes how little they know, even though they know a lot, as opposed to a person who doesn't realize how little they know when they think they know a lot. It's something like that. You know what I mean? They realize how little they know in spite of what is to be known, but they like Steve Gadd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a true master. They acknowledge how much more there is, where the other person already thinks they already have it all, and they have so little.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, once you think you realize that you've arrived, then you're in trouble.
Well, you're done. You're done because
impossible.
Like Quincy Jones used to say, you grow until you go. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Life is a continuous evolutionary process of acquiring knowledge, of which it's unlimited.
Right. As long as you're breathing and standing and interested.
Yeah, as long as you're interested.
Yeah. That's what I really enjoy in the programs that we certainly have put together with KoSA, having all the great artists who have done so much. but being in one place and being able to share it with everyone else on the level that they're comfortable with, which is really nice.
Well, you've done an incredible job of pursuing your vision, and you've fueled many people's ambitions and dreams and facilitated a lot of knowledge, enjoyment, encouragement, camaraderie. It's been an incredible thing, and I'm very proud of what you've done with KoSA and all the people. You know, you've made an indelible mark on people that can never be erased from those experiences. Those who taught, and those who were there to participate. You know, we shared time together in life. That's very important.
And we still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Well, that's the joy of it.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Zoro.
Aldo, thank you for having me, man.
Soon.
It's been an honor and a privilege. Thanks so much. Best of luck on everything.
Thank you. And check out the KoSA site, kosamusic.com. Thank you.